Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again this morning. So, listen, I want to just remind you of a little story not a little story. It's a story in the Bible. You may be familiar with it. You probably are if you've been around church very much. But it's about Peter, and and John records. Actually, all the Gospels record most, at least part of it. But in John chapter 18, starting in verse 15, there's an account where Jesus has been arrested. And Peter and John are kind of trying to stay close, kind of trying to stay near. And Peter's out by a fire, and he is recognized by um, a little servant. And she says, "Well, you're one of his followers too." Now Peter's afraid because Jesus has just been arrested, and he doesn't know what might happen to him as well. And they start saying, "Yeah, you're Galilean. We can tell by your accent." And Peter denies knowing Christ. He denies I don't know the man. He just denies even being affiliated or associated with him. Of course, it breaks Peter's heart, and the scriptures say that he weeps bitterly. Um, in chapter 21, then, starting in about verse 15, Jesus has been crucified and he's resurrected, and he is out, and he meets the disciples on the seashore one morning, and they're actually been fishing, and Peter rushes in, he rushes to the shore, he rushes to where Jesus is. Jesus has a little fire going, he's cooking some fish, and it's at this moment that Jesus interacts with Peter, and he asks him three times, do you love me? And Peter's like, yeah, I love you, I love you. And so God gives him some instructions, and feed my sheep and take care of my little lambs. And so there's a restoration that happens, that even though Peter denied Christ, completely denied knowing him, following him, or anything, and yet Jesus restores Peter even after that denial. So I want to tell you a little story about a man I met. Years ago, I used to do a lot of traveling overseas into some other countries, and I met an older gentleman one time, and he helped me get some shirts, and I met him through um, another friend who lived there, an American who lived there, doing the Lord's work. And I met this older gentleman, and I used him, let him help me get some T-shirts, and so he could make a little money and get some money. But anyhow, I learned the story of this man, and many years ago, he had been attending in his country. It was a Bible study. He really wasn't there because it was a Bible study. He was there trying to practice and learn his English. And one day the authorities came in. This was a country where, and at that time, Christianity was not, it was not allowed, especially unless it was sanctioned by the government. And so the authorities came into this group, to this Bible study, and they arrested everyone, and he was one of them. He was put into prison, and so some time went by. I don't know how long, but some time went by, and everyone who's arrested was brought out one day into the yard of the prison, and they were all put on their knees, and they were told, if you will deny Christ, if you deny that Jesus is Lord, then we will let you go. Well, now this man wasn't even a believer. He didn't believe in Jesus. Again, he was just there learning English. So he absolutely denied Christ, just denied Jesus, denied that he knew him, denied that he had a relationship with him, denied that he was God. He just denied Jesus. And sure enough, he was set free. So fast forward then to just a few years back. I'm talking with a friend who lives over there, the one that I met him through. And what had happened is that my friend was also doing some English teaching and using Bible stories to teach English. And he had one young man, and this young man brought this older man along because the older man could speak some English. And if there was anything that was going on, he could help explain it. My friend said that the older man came week after week after week, never said a word, never spoke a single word. And obviously they were using the study to try to reach these people and these two guys, and none of them responded. And so he had just decided that he was spinning his wheels. And so on this one day, it was going to be the last day. It was going to be the last Bible study. And he told the guy, he said, look, we've done all we can do here. We've taught you all we can teach you. And so today's going to be the last study that we're going to have. And he tells the story of Peter. He tells the story about how Peter denied Jesus and then how Jesus accepted him, and then they were done. And he said, again, this is the last time that I'm going to be able to meet with you guys. So it's been nice knowing you or whatever. And as they left, the old man hung behind. And he talked to my friend and he said, do you mean to tell me that you can deny Christ and later on he will still accept you? My friend said, of course. And again, he recounted the story of Peter. And the old man told him his story. And then he said, I've been living for years thinking there's no way I could come to Christ because I had publicly denied him. He received Christ. He became a Christian and he surrendered his life to God. Now listen, I don't know what kind of second chance you need, but I know that God is the God of the second chance. And Jesus is the giver of the second chance. Jesus is the forgiver of a complete denial of him. He still is open to you. And his death, burial, and resurrection is still there, waiting for you to enter into that relationship. Get out there in faith today. Love you guys. Bless you. Bye.